The story doesn't begin with fame. It begins with a moment so strange it almost feels unreal. A quiet restaurant, a small accident in a parking lot, and a chain of events that would echo in ways no one could have predicted. That's the unsettling thing about Michael Landon's life. Behind the image of warmth, strength, and the perfect television father was a reality far more complicated and far more fragile. To millions, he was a symbol of comfort. But off camera, his life was marked by turmoil, controversy, and a final chapter that unfolded with shocking speed. And when the end came, it wasn't just tragic, it was devastatingly sudden. Before the fame, before the cameras, before millions of people welcomed him into their homes every week, there was a boy who didn't feel safe in his own world. Michael Landon, long before that name meant anything, was born as Eugene Maurice Orowitz in 1936 in Queens, New York. His early life didn't resemble the warmth he would later portray on screen. Instead, it was filled with tension, fear, and emotional instability that quietly shaped the person he would become. His parents were both connected to show business, which might sound like a creative and exciting environment. But the reality inside that household was far from inspiring. His mother struggled deeply with her mental health, and her repeated suicide attempts left a permanent scar on him. Imagine being a child and constantly living with that kind of fear, never knowing what might happen next, never truly feeling secure. That kind of environment doesn't just pass with time. It stays with you, buried deep beneath everything else. School wasn't much of an escape either. Instead of finding comfort or belonging, he faced bullying and isolation. Being singled out for his background only made things worse, pushing him further into himself. Those early years created a quiet loneliness, the kind that doesn't always show on the surface but builds over time. It's often said that people who entertain the world carry hidden pain, and in Landon's case, that couldn't have been more true. Everything began to shift when his family moved to California. It didn't erase what he had been through, but it gave him something new, a chance to rebuild, and that's where he discovered sport. For the first time, he found something that gave him control, confidence, and a sense of identity. He wasn't just the quiet, troubled kid anymore. He became strong, focused, and driven. His talent in javelin throwing was so impressive that it earned him a scholarship to the University of Southern California. For a moment, it looked like his life was finally moving in a clear direction. The Olympics didn't feel like a distant dream. It felt possible. But just as things began to come together, everything fell apart again. An injury ended his athletic career completely. Just like that, the one thing that gave him purpose was gone. And once again, he found himself standing at the edge of uncertainty, forced to start over. That turning point pushed him towards something unexpected, acting. It wasn't a smooth transition. There was no instant success waiting for him. He struggled, took small roles, and worked his way through a highly competitive industry. During this time, he made a decision that symbolized more than just a name change. Eugene Orowitz became Michael Landon. It wasn't just about sounding more Hollywood. It was about leaving behind the past and stepping into a new identity. His breakthrough came in 1957 with a film that caught attention almost instantly. I Was a Teenage Werewolf. It wasn't a prestigious role, but it did something more important. It made people notice him. Suddenly, he wasn't invisible anymore. He was becoming recognizable, especially among younger audiences. That early success gave him something he had been searching for, a sense of direction. But it was television that truly changed everything. In 1959, Landon landed the role that would turn him into a national star, Little Joe Cartwright on Bonanza. The show quickly became one of the biggest hits of its time, and his character stood out almost immediately. He wasn't just another face on screen. He had charm, emotion, and a kind of energy that audiences connected with. Week after week, millions of viewers watched him, and just like that, Michael Landon became a household name. Fame came fast, and it came big. But for Landon, simply being a star wasn't enough. While others might have been satisfied with the spotlight, he was paying attention to everything happening behind it. Scripts, direction, production, he studied it all. He wanted more than just a role. He wanted control. He wanted influence. He wanted to shape the stories, not just act them out. That ambition became a defining part of who he was. And as his success grew, so did the complexity of his life. Because while audiences saw a rising star who seemed to have it all, behind the scenes, things were already beginning to shift. As the 1980s moved forward, Michael Landon stood at a strange intersection of success and scrutiny. On one side, he was still the familiar face